guys, what is up? Welcome back to The Contentment and to this week's letter listen. So this week's letter is about loving yourself, but more so about accepting the truth of who you actually are. We all have an idea of who we are, but does that idea match up and line up with who you actually are? Accepting yourself unconditionally past all of the bullshit is a beautiful way to enjoy your experience and feel the sense of self-judgment just subside and disappear a little bit. You know, we all have things that we're dealing with in terms of how we judge ourselves for it, whether that's a physical, mental, emotional, like whatever. There's a big old list of things that we all judge ourselves for, but accepting it is the first step to change, but also accepting it gives you the space to then breathe a little bit and enjoy your life more. So if you accept it, rather than wishing that it wasn't the way it was, then you can transmute that into a positive experience. And so the reason I say that is one of my favorite quotes ever by Mark Manson, who I believe is the guy who wrote the book of, I think it's Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is a pretty popular book. I personally haven't read it, but that's where you may have heard his name before. And the quote is, "The desire for a more positive experience is a negative experience, but paradoxically, the acceptance of one's own negative experience is in itself a positive experience." So I truly believe that is the most liberating and empowering process. It directly ties into self-love. And I feel like a practical example of this is, let's say you're not happy with your physique and you wish that you were bigger, you wish that you were stronger, you wish that you were more in shape, you wish that you were skinnier, whatever the thing is. Accepting it and truly being okay with the fact that you are where you are at, that's going to be the first step to then be able to take productive action towards the new desired goal, the new version of the thing that you are accepting. But this process of liberation and process of accepting yourself is so difficult. It's brutal. You have to have a level of honesty with yourself that is fucking uncomfortable. You have to be so honest with the truth of who you are that it hurts to admit. Your ego will try and protect you no matter what. Can you look at yourself, at all the ugly shit, and accept the truth of who you are? Accept that you've hurt those people in the past. Accept that you're not in the best financial position. Accept that you're only 5'2". Accept whatever the thing is, and be realistic of who you actually are. You know, no one gives a fuck. Like the height example, no one cares what height you are, only you care. But if you fall in love with who you actually are, accept who you actually are, then all of a sudden those things don't actually matter and they don't hold any weight over you. So how do we practically apply all of this stuff, all of these fun concepts? So a good way is to think right now, what is one thing that you can be brutally honest and accept about yourself right now? For an example for me is, yes, I have pectus excavatum. Yes, I have a hole in my chest. Yes, that means my heart and lungs are compromised. Yes, that means I have to take action to make sure that I maintain my heart and lung health. Yes, I accept. I'm not going to whinge about, I have a hole in my chest, my bones are deformed, my heart and lungs hurt a lot, and like whinge. No one cares. It only makes my experience harder. But once I accept and love myself for how I am, the fact that I'm even here, let's not get too esoteric, but accepting the truth of my situation. Cool, I have to do breath work. Cool, I have to practice mobility and creating space for my heart and lungs. So be it. I'll put a graphic on the screen now, but if you truly look at who you are and you deny who you actually are, that's a negative experience. And if you accept who you actually are, then that in itself is a positive experience. Obviously, these are based on your subjective experience, whether they're positive or negative, but only you can know that. So accept what is the deep truth of who you are, your past, everything that you've done, what you hate about yourself now. accept those and you will liberate your own mind. So to take it even further with a step of practicality, how do you create this? How do you make this practice happen? How do you free one thing about yourself? What I personally like to do is create a safe space for myself, and that has breathwork and meditation included in that practice, followed by a journaling session of the things that I find hard to accept about my truth. And once you have one thing written down, then you can use the tools of breathwork, the tools of meditation to tap into that and accept and love yourself, even though it may feel uncomfortable. I'll leave a link to Lucas Mack Awakened Breathwork, one of my favorite breathwork experiences that you can do, and he cues a beautiful cue after you've finished your rounds of breathing, which is, what does my inner guidance want me to know? But I want you to take that out and customize it to your own liking. An example of that could be, I accept my flaws, I accept myself completely. You can take that sentence, mash it up however works for you, and the way that you can use that mantra after your breath work to really accept yourself. And I don't want to get too much into the practice of breath work because it is foundational towards me freeing myself and loving myself, and I truly believe it's one of the foundations for what has changed my life. So I highly recommend breathwork because it creates an altered state where you can radically love yourself and radically accept who you truthfully are. So if you're still unsure about how to go about accepting yourself, how to go about loving yourself, and you would like to know more, feel free to send me a DM, and I'm more than happy to help you with my personal recommendations, but also I'm more than happy to guide you through some practices and potentially meet up in person, or we could do a Zoom or something like that, and I could help you through whatever it is you're dealing with and show you exactly how I deal with it. Or we can exchange voice messages or DMs or whatever it is. I am truly here to help because I am slowly taking the chains off everything that has limited me in the past. I'm learning to love myself. Life is opening up, things feel incredible, and I'm slowly starting to see the world for the abundant beautifulness that it actually is. All of these fun buzzwords like I'm a fucking hippie, but it's the truth, and I can't deny it, and I want to share that as much as possible. So as a quick little recap, diving into radical self-acceptance, write something down that you find difficult to accept about yourself, whether that's a previous experience, whether that's something that you're currently dealing with, something that's happened to you, something that you don't like about your looks, your physiques, anything. Write it down and take yourself through a process of genuinely holding yourself and accepting that that is okay, that that happened, that is okay that I look like this, that is okay. Now, I really want to reinforce that it's, let's say you're morbidly obese and unhealthy. This isn't to say accept myself and love myself and that's okay. No, the truth is accept myself, love myself, and now take productive action to change that if it's a risk towards my health. So let's not get fucking airy-fairy here and pretend that it's okay to be morbidly obese, because that has negative association on all health markers. This isn't my opinion, this is just the truth. So whether that's anorexia or whatever, obviously these issues are super complex, and I'm not trying to claim that I know them black and white, but all I'm saying is accept yourself first, make changes second. So thank you guys very much for tuning into this week's letter listen. Feel free to check out my website to read the actual letter. Link will be in the description of this video. I'm going to throw this out on YouTube and Spotify. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you found any value in this, I'd greatly appreciate it if you can share it with someone that may find value in this information. This is my life's work. This is what I'm here to do. Let's get every last drop from this life. Take radical action towards self-love and self-acceptance. Thank you guys for tuning in. For the contentment, let's fucking do it. I don't know what that was, but we're going to leave it in anyway.